This is Nddc Today.
Hello and welcome to the program. It's a new year and a fresh beginning, they say. The year 2020 was rather a tumultuous one for the world economy. The coronavirus pandemic has taken its toll, and now this year many countries are in lockdown and international trade and commerce are reeling under this new wave. Global oil prices came down to a low of $12 per barrel before rebounding to the current oil price of roughly $54 per barrel. Poverty and misery have deepened, especially in the poorest countries. Beyond the figures, there has been an atmosphere of subdued fear, panic, and gloom. Most countries, including Nigeria, have to be more responsive to the challenges of the reality of today. Nations and organizations have to be more accountable and prudent in managing the affairs of the respective entities and organizations. Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, is no exception. This is Nddc Today. I am Tukumbo Uyorinde. For us on Nddc Today, we shall continue on our journey on how the Commission fared in the year 2020. It has indeed been an eventful year at the Nddc in this year. The interim administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, has been mandated to oversee the forensic audit of the Commission and superintend the forensic audit, as well as to muster the resources of the Commission to put it back on track. In this episode of the program, we continue to look back at some of the main features of the activities of the Interim Management Committee IMC, some of which they have laid the ground for the new administrator to perform effectively. It is a known fact that the NDDC was established with the mandate to facilitate the rapid, even and sustainable development of the Niger Delta region. Part of this mandate includes assessing and reporting any project being funded or carried out in the region, as well as ensuring that funds released for such projects are properly utilized. When it was inaugurated in February 2020, the immediate past management of the NDDC set about the assessment of projects, especially road projects executed by its contractors across the region, as a major priority in order to ensure that they met the stipulated standards before payments were made to the contractors. In the thinking of the then management of the NDDC, every development intervention project ought to be implemented speedily and to specification so that the people can reap its benefits. A team of experts from the Commission, led by the former Acting Executive Director Projects, Dr. Cairo Ojubo, embarked on the inspection of these projects across the states of the region. From Imo to Delta to Edo and Bayelsa states, the team worked tirelessly both day and night, inspecting the projects to ascertain that they were properly executed to specification and standards. A good number of roads met the team's approval, while some contractors were sent back to sites to either complete the projects they had abandoned halfway or remobilize for the ones that were shabbily done.
This contractor has been paid, but we are going to hold him live. The whole road is a failure. If they don't want to, they will refund the money to the Commission, because there is no way that the Commission can accept this.
No, it's not possible.
It is not possible.
Look at this place. The gutter are going nowhere. It end up this one to end here, this one to end here. So when the flood come, the whole place is flooded.
We are not taking it with a pinch of salt. we are taking it very seriously, and we will come back and we will remedy this. It's either the contractor will do what is necessary. If he cannot, we will change the contractor and deliver a better work for you.
Contractors have started doing work even in the night. It happened in my state, in my estate in Akure. Please let every job be properly assessed, either new or old, because they might just come and put asphalt on the thing, a road that should have base course and so on and so forth. They will just come and put asphalt, and because it is black, beautiful to aesthetically to see, you will not know what is under.
With the strict inspection of the Nddc team and the remobilization of contractors back to sites, several roads across the Niger Delta were completed and put to use, all to the delight of motorists and communities straddling along their path.
I really enjoy it. The road is so smooth. It's like bread and butter.
Normally, if somebody asks you that you take it to Irogo, we don't even like to go there. But now, when we enter the street now, it's like we are in a mini London.
This contractor is the type of person that should be given more important jobs. I mean, some contractors, you give them work, they will continue digdaling. Tomorrow they come up and ask you to give them variation, that things are expensive because they didn't do the job.
To enhance the preservation of its legacy document and ensure its safety while rendering faster and better service in its administrative duties, the Nddc commenced the digitization of its documents early in the year 2020. The digitization in the Commission is also an added boost to the forensic audit exercise of the Commission, as it will give the necessary integrity to official documents.
This archiving system, if anything happens to our paper documents, business will continue because we'll have the digital format already stored with today's technology in the cloud, so it could be accessed, and all necessary security systems for preventing from hackers, malware and all that are also in place.
Flooding is a major phenomenon which many communities in the Niger Delta contend with every year, especially for over 2/3 of the local communities and towns in the Niger Delta who live along the coastlines of rivers and rivulets. This situation arises from the overflow of the banks when there is heavy rainfall during the rainy season, and sometimes it leads to loss of lives. It is also exacerbated by the loss of means of their livelihood, which is mostly agriculture and fishing. The year 2020 was no exception in this regard. Some examples of communities that suffered severe flooding during this period include Okagbe in Delta State, Ahoda West in River State, Opokuma in Bayelsa State, just to mention a few. It was in this guise that in mid-2020, the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, in conjunction with the Nddc, put in place an interministerial committee to work out an acceptable blueprint that can be used as an instrument to reduce the negative consequences of flooding in the Niger Delta. The committee included members from the Nddc and several relevant government agencies in the region, and was inaugurated by the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, who also doubles as the supervising minister of the Nddc, Senator Godswill Akpabio.
With the prediction coming from the experts, we must make hay while the sun shines. We felt that there was any community or group of people, even an institution that fails to plan, has planned to fail. We cannot wait to be only reactive. We should be proactive.
This committee is very timely. It's an interministerial or interagency committee collaborating to prevent another disaster. since 2012, I think there was a major flood in 2012 that affected, I think it caught most of the states unawares as per their preparation, even though I'm very certain that NISA and NIMET must have warned them. But the resultant effect was very, very devastating.
Going forward, like in previous years, the year also saw several delegations visiting the headquarters of the NDDC to discuss various issues bordering on the development of the region. Such delegations to the Commission included major stakeholders of the region, royal fathers, youth groups, as well as development partners of various programs and projects. Let's highlight some of them. A contingent from the Nigerian Naval War College, Oran, led by its commandant, Rear Admiral Adesheye Ayobanjo, came calling. The contingent consisted of Warfare Course 4 participants of the college. In the same breath, a group from the Eche American Foundation USA visited to seek support of the Commission in setting up skills acquisition centers in Eche communities in River State.
The idea of empowering the youth was born from the fact that he who fails to plan today should be prepared to fail tomorrow. And considering the fact that youth are the future of tomorrow, then the need to empower them for a better tomorrow becomes even more urgent.
And that's not all. The NDDC also played host to some royal fathers from Delta State, as well as a Niger Delta group led by Chief Tim Kaiser Ogorigba. The group consisted of Alhaji Asari Dokubo and Miss Akio Briggs and other members. It lauded the NDDC management for taking some notable strides in the development of the region.
This is the first time that after so many years, 2001, is the first time the Commission is coming to a place that is known as its headquarters. And you did it.
Several youth and women groups were also not left out in the visits as well.
We are here to interface with the youths. This NDDC, the narratives right now from what we have seen has changed because of the likes of you and your decent crew.
The Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprise Program in the Niger Delta, Life ND, a partnership between the NDDC and the International Fund for Agricultural Development IFAD, also received attention when the NDDC inaugurated the Technical Support Committee of the program. Speaking at the event, the immediate past acting managing director of the Commission, Professor Kemebradi Kumar Ponde, said that it was necessary to activate the committee to provide all the required support for the successful implementation of the Life ND program.
The Technical Support Committee is a review committee, is an oversight committee that ensures that what the Life ND project is doing is in line with the design of the Life ND and also the agreed and approved annual work plan and budget, and also to give some leadership to the National Support Program Support Office of the Life ND.
Project is a unique project. It's different among all projects that have been done in the region by virtue of those who are collaborating. And it is important that we use this as a platform to strengthen collaboration within the country and also to let people know that Agri can really succeed and be the driver of the national economy.
December heralded two major events that will shape the destiny of the NDDC going forward. First was the change of guard in the leadership of the Commission when the federal government announced the dissolution of the Interim Management Committee IMC and put in place an interim administrator in the person of Mr. Effiong Okon Akwa, the erstwhile acting executive director finance and administration of the Commission. The period of the announcement also coincided with the holding of a major stakeholders meeting of the region. The National Council on Niger Delta, held in Port Harcourt, River State. The event was the fourth edition of the meeting, which had previously held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State in 2013, Akure, Ondo State in 2017, and Umuahia, Abia State in 2018. far-reaching decisions that will affect the Niger Delta were taken at the summit. The federal government announced the repositioning of the Nddc and the amnesty program to ensure that they delivered on their mandates to develop the Niger Delta. In a communique issued at the end of the 4-day event and read by the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Council resolved to, among other decisions, mobilize key stakeholders of the region to commence harmonization of the Niger Delta Action Plan and the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan to produce a single regional roadmap for the development of the region. The Council also resolved the need for collaboration among stakeholders in an effort to develop the region.
It is therefore pertinent to seek a collaboration and to bring out a collaborative framework of partnership in the formulation and implementation of policies and programs for the general well-being of the Niger Delta. The decisions of this Council meeting that we are having, this program, will be taken very seriously by the present leadership of the ministry to ensure sustainable infrastructural and socio-economic development of the region.
The new Nddc interim administrator, Mr. Effiong Akwa, in his message at the meeting, said that the Nddc was now poised to redeem its image and foster better collaboration with state governments in the Niger Delta, as well as other stakeholders.
Gone are the days you see Nddc for supply of classic chairs, for supply of tables, for supply of street lights, and so on. We will work with the governors of the South region. We will engage the governors, we will engage the stakeholders, we will engage the royal fathers, so that they can tell us, we will really know what you are looking for. If we know what is your priority, if you set your priorities right, we know what is a priority, then we can tackle those priorities. There will be no competition for development. Somebody is doing a half-kilometer road here, another person is doing this way. Gone are those days. We will work together as a team, and as a team we will achieve development. And the reason your taxpayers' money will not be wasted.
In all, the year 2020 was indeed a very intriguing year for people and governments around the world, with the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic and its multifaceted impact on all spheres of life. Despite this, the year also witnessed some opportunities for growth and development. For the Nddc, it is expected that it will consolidate on the strides it recorded in the year as it moves forward in its onerous task of developing the Niger Delta region. Welcome back. As you heard earlier, the National Council in the Niger Delta resolved in its meeting to mobilize key stakeholders to commence harmonization of the Niger Delta Action Plan and the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan to produce a single regional roadmap for the Niger Delta region. Some months back, we brought you a story on the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan, piloted by the Nddc, as we attempt to explain the reasons why it did not succeed. In our next report, we take you back to that story, especially in light of the resolution of the National Council on Niger Delta to harmonize it with that of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs.
The Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan was developed in 2005, was considered a major masterstroke of the Nddc, meant to jumpstart and guide the step-by-step development process of the Niger Delta region's economy, infrastructure and human capital development deficits, and considered as the tallest among every other project ever embarked upon by the Nddc. Since abject poverty was a major feature of the people of the Niger Delta region, the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan was designed to pursue poverty reduction, largely through improved agricultural productivity, plus the development of micro and small-scale enterprises. It also aimed at accelerating economic growth for the region through improved infrastructure and industrialization. With human resource development, institutional development, capacity building, and environmental protection as general foundations and enablers. designed by GTZ of Germany with input from an array of stakeholders in the region, the plan was unarguably judged in many quarters to be the most comprehensive document of government ever put together. The lifespan of the document was 15 years at a cost of $50 billion, and at full implementation would turn the Niger Delta region into the desired El Dorado. To ensure a buy-in of the master plan from all stakeholders in the region, the then management boards of the NDDC embarked on tours of the region to solicit support for the initiative from the then state governors of the region. Town hall meetings were also held across the region to ensure that everyone who mattered was carried along with the initiative. The successful launch of the Master Plan Blueprint document in 2005 by President Olusegun Obasanjo was said to be a major breakthrough by the Commission. Stakeholders in the region then believed the document will address the many shortfalls hindering the development of the Niger Delta, with high commendations from within and beyond the Niger Delta.
It's good that we have a plan, that everybody tries to partner and coordinate their activities to make the maximum use of the resources available.
The master plan is a roadmap, so it is for us to now implement it with some degree of passion and dedication and zeal. The way it should work.
It is okay. It's a plan of action. We must have a plan of what we want to do. So the plan has been written out and properly spaced. So we just follow the plan, we get there.
Well, if they are faithful in the implementation, I think Nigeria and Niger Delta in particular will move forward.
The implementation of the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan was designed based on 15 years of 3 phases, which were namely the foundation phase that was proposed to run from 2006 to 2010, the expansion phase 2011 to 2015, and the consolidation phase 2016 to 2020. But 15 years down the line, some stakeholders are saying nothing ever happened with that plan.
Until now, we cannot comfortably lay up to anything to say, okay, this is something NDC has set up and it has been able to produce XYZ. XYZ has been able to produce 1, 2, 3. We can't see that. How many factories or industries have been able to have been created over the past 15 years? None.
It was not executed. That master plan was not executed.
Where is the master plan? That is the question. So the master plan has not succeeded. And that's why we are where we are today.
To the best of my knowledge, and the knowledge of every renewable Niger Delta, the master plan that was drawn by the first board is not been implemented. Every one person, MD and board that have come have tried to do their own thing as against what is in the master plan.
Notable stakeholders of the region believe that with or without a Niger Delta Regional Development Plan, what must come foremost is a change of genuine attitude, which must begin with managers of development agencies across the region. Other observers of the region also believe that abject poverty still remains a recurrent decimal with the people of the region, in spite of the many efforts by successive governments in place to better the lot of the people. To them, if the master plan was followed to the letter, the Niger Delta today should ordinarily be like another Dubai in Africa.
There are other oil-producing countries, oil-producing regions that have done so much. You go to the United Arab Emirates, you go to Qatar, you go to Bahrain, you go to all these countries. The oil-producing region do not look like our own.
Let them go back to the drawing board, to the master plan, and follow it as it is, process by process, then you will see progress.
With the 2020 deadline given for the implementation of the plan set to expire this year, it is no wonder that recently the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, whose ministry supervises the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), called for an integrated development master plan for the region. Senator Akpabio stated that his ministry was committed to harmonizing the existing Niger Delta Development Master Plan of the NDDC with the Niger Delta Action Plan, initiated by the Ministry of the Niger Delta Affairs, to produce a common and workable regional roadmap for the development of the region.
We are, as a ministry, committed to harmonizing the regional development plan as well as the Niger Delta Action Plan, which was put together under the regime of Libe, and then as managing director. So we intend to harmonize it so that we can have one regional development master plan, so that all the IOCs and associated companies that are working here will have one plan in mind for the development of Niger Delta.
Senator Akpabio regretted that the NDDC over the years has not lived up to expectations, adding that the Commission lost track of the development plan of the Niger Delta region.
Whether we like it or not, this child has not grown well in 19 years. The child could have done far better. When you look at it, juxtapose it with the fact that this development started way back in the days of Ampare. Then look back and realize that the first attempt at Niger Delta development, a commission of this nature, was started in 1958. Then you look at the resources that have come from this area to assist Nigeria to develop. Then you turn around and look at the shanties, even around you. And then look at the people on canoes struggling to look for clean water. Then you will know that either we lost focus or we lost track of the developmental plan of the Niger Delta.
There is no doubt that over the years, effort by stakeholders in the development of the Niger Delta region have been on parallel basis. Thus, federal, states, local government and multinational oil companies have not made any comprehensive plan and adopted any uniform implementation plan to achieve the much desired development of the region. In all, it is the expectation of all Niger Deltans that when the envisaged master plan enunciated by the minister comes into being, it will avoid the pitfalls that plague the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan.
Hopefully, with the successful harmonization and implementation of both the Niger Delta Action Plan and the Niger Delta Regional Development Master Plan, the Niger Deltans and stakeholders will at last get the required development the region deserves. Well, that's our package for this week. From me and the rest of the crew, it's bye for now. And once again, we wish you a Happy New Year. See you soon.